All right, so we're rating used DJ controllers on the marketplace Macari. This is one of my favorite places to get used DJ controllers. It's actually where I got this one, which is the Vestech Spin, which is like 13 years old, and I was really happy to be able to get it. The only thing that I regret is not making sure that all the faders and knobs and buttons worked. This one had a missing crossfader, so I just took one of the faders off of the EQ and put it down there, but the crossfader still doesn't work, and I have to use the volume faders instead. So make sure that if you get a used one, that it's intact. The first thing that go with DJ controllers are usually the faders and knobs, because people just throw them in bags when they go and do gigs, and they get bent, and you can't really fix them. But let's see what we got here. All right, starting with the first one we see. This is a good one. This is the Numark Party Mix DJ controller. This is a very beginner DJ controller, but it has pretty much everything you need. It has 4 pads on each side, has a decent crossfader and a mixer section, and kind of like the unique feature, or I guess I would call it a gimmick, is it has these kind of silly party lights that go with the beat of the music. So it has built-in light show. It's pretty cool, but like I said, pretty much a gimmick. And these new are like 130, so for $55, I might take this one. Also, let me know in the comments which one I should buy and make a review video on. All right, let's see what else we got here. This is a really weird one. This is the Numark IDJ3, and the gimmick and like kind of the unique feature about this one is it has a iPod docking station. So I think you were able to plug in your iPod, and like have your iPod in the middle of the controller and be able to DJ with the music from your iPod. I don't know if I'm gonna buy this one to test it out, because it has a built-in 13-pin connection, which all the iPhones have the new Lightning port, and even the iPads have USB-C. So in order to get a new device into this, you're going to need multiple adapters, and I'm going to bring that up when we talk about other controllers too, because if you can't plug it into the thing you use to DJ with, there's no point of really buying it unless you want to just hang it on the wall. But this controller, it's really cool. I would love to test it out and see if you could actually use it with a modern phone. But yeah, it was just a basic controller, but it had the docking station in the middle, which made it really weird and really unique. All right, down here, this is the DDJ WeGo 4. This was my go-to controller for a while. This is the one that I had set up and I would DJ with every day. I really loved it, and I regret that I sold it. When I moved from New York to Florida, I had to pack my whole car up, and I didn't have room to fit it in, so I sold it. But this is a pretty good deal, $213 plus $25 shipping. The only thing that I didn't like about this controller is the jog wheel started to not be that very responsive. Once I got into scratching, it really wasn't a great controller for scratching. And also the iPad stand doesn't fit the new iPads with cases, so that's kind of a bummer. It does have really cool lights that light up while you DJ, and overall, it's a great mini controller. It's very different the way it's set up, because the buttons are around the jog wheels instead of like being like a square under them. It looked cool. It was a nice, cool, sleek way to DJ, but also it didn't really look or feel like a real DJ controller, more of like an iPad accessory or a toy. Next, let's see what else they got here. This is the original mix track. Pretty good deal. I mean, I wouldn't really go with that. There's much better options. Let's scrolling down. This is another really weird Hercules controller. It's kind of like a box. I don't even know if it would work with DJ Pro AI, but it probably would be pretty cool to test out. I love these old weird DJ controllers. Let's see if there's anything else. This one, I definitely want to talk about this one. This is the Numark IDJ Pro. This was designed specifically for DJ Pro AI and the iPad, and that was the program and the software that I used when this came out, and I just really had to have it. I bought it full price. It was like close to $700. So this was supposed to be the professional DJ controller for professional DJs that were DJing with the iPad. And the iPad there was a slot in the middle for the iPad, so it kind of looked like the controller had a built-in screen, but it was just your iPad in the middle. And actually, the DJ Pro AI app had like its own screen that would come on when you plugged in the controller, and you could control like effects and stuff with the iPad. I really thought this was the future of DJing, and this is how iPad DJing was going to be, but they never came out with a new one, and it really wasn't the best controller. And then once they came out with the new chargers, but the 13 pin, and then now with the iPad, it's a USB-C connection. So I got all the adapters. I had to get like a 13 pin to Lightning, and then a Lightning pin to USB-C, and just with that many adapters, it didn't really work. But a lot of great memories with this controller. This is the controller that I did my first few gigs with, and it had all the professional connections. You could put a microphone. It had all the cables, everything you needed. The only really weird thing was that instead of the volume faders being sliders like every other DJ controller, it had these weird rotary knobs, kind of like changing the volume on the radio. So that was a weird part of the controller, but besides that, it was really cool for the time, but now it's kind of outdated because of the new chargers. All right, let's see if we could get one more to talk about. There it is. That's the Vestech Spin, the one that I have. I think that's the second one. That looks really cool. I might have to get that one. It's just an improved version of the Vestech Spin that I have. It has the mixers in the middle instead of the weird mixer on the top. And yeah, really cool controller. Let's see what else. This was actually my first DJ controller. This is the original Numark iDJ. I think it was iDJ Live. This is an Ion version, but it was literally the same controller, and I believe that this is actually the worst controller ever made. For one, it looks like a children's toy. Everything was really cheap plastic, and it just had a cheap toy plastic feel to it. But it was my first DJ controller, and I do have a lot of good memories with it. You could get them for really cheap now, but I just don't know, again, if it would be able to plug into a modern iPad, so I don't want to have a controller that I can't plug in to my device. Launchpad is cool. If you're a DJ Pro AI user, you guys could use the Launchpad for the looper and the sampler, and you could plug in two controllers into pretty much any DJ software. So having a Launchpad to use for your effects and your loopers and stuff like that is a really cool idea. I really want to add one of those to my setup, and I would definitely recommend it. This is cool. Remember DJ Hero? It was like the Guitar Hero for DJing, and this is actually not a DJ controller, and it is a toy, but definitely cool that it was a game for the PlayStation. Oh, this was one of my first controllers too. This was the Numark DJ-to-to Touch. Before it was the first version. It was the Numark DJ-to-go, the original one. It was terrible, but it was the first mini DJ controller, and it had these jog wheels that didn't really work very well. It had the crossfader was really weird, and there wasn't really that many buttons or knobs, but I guess it was better than DJing without a controller, and it definitely has a place in my heart because a lot of good memories with that controller.